Hey guys, my name's Sam. Welcome to PrepMedic. This week's video, we're going through my bug out bag. There's a lot of positives and negatives to bug out bags, and on the internet, everybody has their own opinion. This is just what I've decided to keep in mind. I'm gonna start this video out by saying, first and foremost, in an emergency situation, 9 times out of 10, your best bet is to shelter in place at home. So a bug out bag is a bag that's intended to be taken with you in case of an emergency forcing you to leave your home. Now, I'm in the Denver metro, but I also border a nature area, and I really took that into account with the design of this bag and what I keep in it. Now, I'm also not packing this for myself. I had to think of things for my entire family. I have a wife and one kid. So if this was just me, if I was a bachelor, this would look a lot different and be in a much different form factor. But I had to kind of compromise on some of the stuff in here because I have to be able to take care of them as well. This is not a get home bag. I don't keep this in my car. I keep this at home. My wife could grab it. I've got a lot of faith in her physical abilities to be able to carry this. Let's say I'm on one of my 24-hour shifts. She has to go. She could grab this and be able to carry it almost as far as I could carry it. So no worries there. It looks pretty big, but as you'll see, there's not like a ton of really heavy equipment in here. A lot of this is taken up by like one thing that's really not that heavy. So, I'm not so concerned about the weight. As far as the bag itself, I went with the Vertex Overlander just because it has some features I really like. I like this bag. I've had it for a while and I like Vertex. However, use what you have on hand. If you can't afford a backpack or going out to buy a backpack, you can build one of these in a JanSport, school bag. Obviously, the more specialized you get, the more money you shell out, the more kind of special capabilities it might have, but it's not necessary, and I wouldn't want that to be a barrier of entry for you. So let's get into this. I don't want this video to be super long because there are a ton of supplies in here. On the outside, I've got a Nalgene bottle. This is 48 ounces of water. Usually I keep it full, but I'm cleaning everything right now. It's just easier to film without any water in it. And I want to have a full water bottle because I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill it right away. I'll show you some of the other stuff I have in here for water pretty soon. Water is super important, especially if we have to walk a long ways. If we're not able to take our car and take this with us, we're going to want a source of water pretty readily available. On this other side, I have a tarp. Now, I'm not going to get it out because it's absolutely massive. This thing is 4 meters by 4 meters. It can be, put up as a tent. I'll show you some of the other stuff in here. It can be thrown on the ground as a water barrier. I can build a shelter with it. Now, I thought about, having a tent in here, but the problem with the tent is it's very one note. It has a set footprint. I can only set it up in one way, and it's not going to work in every situation. This can be used to improve a small shelter. It can be used to seal up the car if I want to just, cover the inside of the car and not let any light in the windows. Help protect us that way. So there's a lot of different uses for this, and I just felt it was more versatile for our family. Also, I didn't want to go out and buy like a really expensive, 3-4 person backpacking tent that might have a smaller footprint just because, I didn't want to spend money on that for a kit that I'm probably never going to use. But that's what I decided to go with for, potential for shelter. On this front pocket in here, I've got a thing of flagging. Now, this is not like a Red Dawn survivalist pack. This is not built to be like apocalypse proof. And the reality is, most of the disasters that are going to displace us from our house, or the potential is there, most of the time that's going to be from a natural disaster. It's not necessarily going to be, being hunted by, Russians or something like that. So here I want to be able to be seen, if we need rescue, like if there's a major flood or something, I want to be able to throw this on my pack and be seen. I think I got this from Tasmanian Tiger. It just has these ties I can throw up on the pack and be used as a flag as well. On this Vertex pack in the front here, I've got some of our emergency supplies. So this pack just comes down, and I like keeping this kind of concealed. Like obviously this isn't like a gray man pack, it's got the olive drab look and stuff, but it's not overtly like tactical. So does that really matter? I don't know. You're a target if you have a backpack in a disaster situation, no matter what you do. But I feel like this one keeps it kind of low pro. So in here, I've got a bunch of antibiotics, antiseptic, Tylenol, ibuprofen, antidiarrheals, Basically comfort meds along with some antibiotics in case somebody, you know, cuts their arm. We don't have immediate access to an emergency facility. These all came from my Duration Health medical kit that I reviewed on this channel a little while ago. I just changed the form factor to fit in here, and this is one of the Vertex pockets I just had laying around. Down here I've got 2 adult EpiPens. Now these are 0.3 milligrams each, so these are very much the adult dose. But my son has a peanut allergy, and ultimately he can receive 0.3 milligrams. He's got a healthy heart, and it's not going to, you know, be amazingly detrimental, even though the pediatric dose is 0.15. So I opted to keep the adult ones in here. I can give him one of those if he has that, or if anybody else is having an allergic reaction, anaphylactic reaction, I can supply them with an EpiPen, and I've got 2 just in case there's a secondary reaction there. Right here, I've got my IFAC. So this is from, I believe, and this guy right here just has kind of your basic IFAC supplies in it. So I'm not gonna get everything out because this thing's actually kind of hard to pack. But right here, I've got, you know, packing gauze. I've got 2 pairs of gloves, NPA, ARS, probably don't really need that in there, but it comes with the kit, a bandage, roller bandage, and then a couple chest seals right there, and that all just packs up in the front. Just a good thing to have, especially in conjunction with some of the other medical supplies I have in here, and I have less emergent supplies kind of deeper in this kit. And this is all kind of just concealed by this pocket right here, really easy to get to. One nice thing about this pack is if I do want to throw like more in here, if I've got like clothes I want to put in, I can just throw these on and then stuff the clothes in there. It's a nice little compression sack right there. I think it's important to have extra space in these packs because if you have like a pack that's totally full and you pick up something along the way or there's something you want to throw on this pack, it at least gives you the ability to do so. So coming into the top of the pack right here, it's kind of hard to do with as big as this is. I'm just going to take everything out of this pocket. Some easily accessible items, you know, not a ton of thought went into like where these things went, but I was wanting to make sure that the things I need to get at regularly throughout the day were easily accessible. So right here, I have a whole thing of wettable towelettes, so like basically toilet paper that are compressed down. They just take a couple drops of water, they expand, and they're a moist towelette. Can be used for, you know, washing your face or wiping your butt if you gotta poop. So these are in here, just kind of a comfort item there. And then my kid's in the middle of potty training, so, you know, we need some kind of wipe as well. I've got a couple $100. You know, like I said, this isn't a apocalypse-proof pack. I don't have this for, you know, grid is down, there's no currency anymore. So enough money to get us a night at a hotel if we have to, or fill up the car with gas, you know, something like that, or even just bribe somebody to let us stay with them. Have some shower wipes right here. I don't know, I picked these up because they were on sale. I use these at work if I'm going for a run, don't have access to a shower. These are basically shower wipes we can keep clean to a certain extent. I have a headlight. I opted for a headlight. I've got another light source in here, but I can walk at night with this, throw this on my head, and it's kind of hands-free for a lot of these tasks. I feel like that's important, and if I need to, I can use it as a handheld as well. I just think it's a little bit more versatile to have a headlamp. And then in here, I've got the water filtration system that I've opted to use. So we use these in the survival kits for our helicopter, and I really like them. These are the Sawyer filters. And essentially here, what this will allow me to do is get water, store it in here, and drink it, filter it as I go. They're really easy to use. And these can also screw on the cap of pretty much any normal water bottle. So there's a lot of applications here, and then I've got some other supplies to draw up water if I have to clean the filter. So both of these can be filled and used as standalone water jugs if I have to. You know, the nice thing about Colorado is there are a lot of streams and lakes and places where I can replenish water. We're not so in the metro that it's unfeasible that there would be some source of water there. So I really like this filter. I like it better than the Life Straw because it just kind of more easily allows you to collect the water and take it away with you instead of having to stay at the stream, you know, drinking the water through the straw. But I do have some Life Straws too. You know, I don't know. This is just what I've kind of chosen to go with in this particular pack. Entering the main pocket of this pack. And one of the things I like about this is it just kind of opens all the way, and I can get at everything all at once if I have to. So in the main pocket here, I've got like a stuffed animal. It's not a stuffed animal my son particularly loves or anything like that, but you know, I didn't want to take one of his toys that he actually, you know, plays with a lot of, but I feel like it's something that will provide some comfort if we're in a bad situation. It's something I can give him to allow him to, you know, cuddle with and, you know, feel something soft and nice. So I felt like that was important to, you know, include in the kit, and it's almost no weight whatsoever. I've got a Jetboil, and right here in this container, it's got the gas canister that will last for quite a few hours. I've got some instant coffee here and a coffee press. Just little comfort items. Is that absolutely necessary? No, but is it nice to have? Absolutely. And then this is a secondary water purification system. If I absolutely have to use it, we can boil water in here and drink it. I like Jetboil just because they're really easy to use. They're windproof, and they don't put out a lot of flame. It also lasts for a long time. Got a little like entrenchment tool. I don't know exactly what you call them, but it's just a foldable shovel. Tons of uses, whether that's, you know, improving a shelter. If I want to dig like into a berm or something like that, I can dig latrines. Like if we're like in some kind of, you know, disaster camp or something like that, I can improve our shelter like that, and also improve hygiene as well. So this stays in here. Obviously, if I'm using it for anything too dirty, I'll throw it somewhere else on the pack. And you can get these for like $5 at a surplus store. Really, really easy to get. Adds a little bit of weight, but honestly, I really like the tool. Now, I have 3 meal packs right here. They've got a fair amount of calories on them. They're supposed to serve 2 people each. So this will essentially last us like, this will be 3 meals for us if we need to. Obviously, we can, you know, not eat quite as much, make sure our kids getting enough food right here. But these are kind of good meals to have. Now, people will go with like MRE type food because you don't necessarily have to cook those. You should cook these, but you can eat these without cooking them. So, you know, use your judgment on what you're going to do. I just know I like the taste of these. I know my wife likes the taste of these, and I had a bunch laying around, so I threw 3 of them in the pack. Food is not your primary concern in a survival situation. You can go like 3 weeks without food. However, especially with a kid, especially if you're exerting yourself carrying a pack, you do need food to have energy, and it will make your life just a little bit more comfortable as well. In this pocket right here, I've got an S-beaner. Just, you can clip things on the outside of the pack. Takes up no space, almost no weight. I've got a thing of duct tape here, pre-rolled, and then, I don't know, I think this is like 200 feet of paracord. It helps with that shelter building, improving tool repair, anything like that. So I think these are important things to have in any kind of survival situation. Right here, I've got, let's see, the big blue 28-watt solar charger. So didn't cost me that much. Once again, bought it on Amazon, and it's a pretty decent solar charger. I can strap this to my pack. It also has like all the wires we'd need right in here to charge like phones, anything like that. I can strap it to the pack while we're walking, charge a phone, charge a GPS unit, charge our watches, like whatever it is. It's just good to be able to charge that technology. Yes, I understand that phones might not be useful in certain situations, but there's a bigger chance that it will be useful, if for nothing else. Entertaining a child in a dire circumstance, it's important to have your technology and the ability to charge it and call for help if you absolutely have to. So that's what I have in here, and that folds down pretty tightly. Now, what's taking up the most space in this pack right here is a wool blanket, and this pairs nicely with that tarp. So I was thinking about what I'd use for warmth for shelter. If this was just me, I'd have a single person bivy tent, and I'd have a, you know, -20 sleeping bag in here, and I'd carry it around. But that doesn't do me any good with a family. So this will allow all of us to get under one blanket, cuddle up, preserve warmth. I love wool as a fabric. I love it way more than synthetics. It's antimicrobial. It doesn't start stinking over time. It's super warm. It maintains its warmth even when it's wet. And this is a pretty big blanket, so it can keep us all warm. Is this gonna keep us alive in a negative 20-degree day? No, it's not. But you can't be prepared for anything. If you try to be prepared for absolutely every scenario, you're gonna end up not having anything you actually need in some of these situations. So for me, I felt like that was a good compromise. The water bottle went for a trip there. So coming into the lid of the pack and what I have kind of up and down on this guy. Up here, I've got a tourniquet. Bleeding control, it goes with the IFAK. It just didn't fit great down there, so decided to throw it on the inside lid of the pack, still very easily accessible. Below the tourniquet, I have a full tang fixed blade knife. This one was sent to me by Tor Knives. It's one of their survival knives right here. Obviously, tons of uses for a knife. I just like having it. I'm probably not using this for self-defense, probably more using this for, shelter building as a general tool for different things. But I think it's important to have a fixed blade knife there. It has so many uses in a survival situation, and that's just held in right here. Below that, in this zippered pocket, I just have a lot of like kind of high calorie bars. So LAR bars are great. I've got a couple of those in here. And then I've got some Nutri-Grain bars that my kid likes. Snacks to keep us going during the day. Once again, is this gonna sustain us for days and days and days? No, but a little bit of food is a big comfort item in some of these situations. And then I just have a couple different packets with things like nail clippers, tweezers, Band-Aids, antiseptic stuff, minor gauze, some electrolyte packets right there, some burn cream, like just kind of your minor items that are going to make your life easier if you're having a little bit of a hard time. One thing I'm going to throw in here is some of the gel packs that I use for my long distance runs. If we are trying to put down miles with this pack, if we're trying to hit 40, 50 miles in a day hiking with this, it'll be good to have some like very easily digestible carbs to keep going throughout that hike. And those all just fit right in this pocket. Next pocket's kind of like the tool area, and these are both detachable if I want to take them out. And some kind of, not silly things, but just some kind of random stuff in here. Obviously a multi-tool. I couldn't put anything in this bag that I use on a regular basis. Simply because I'm probably never going to use this bag, and gear is expensive, and if I use it regularly, I don't want it to be just hidden away in a pack. I also don't want to be jumping into this all the time, because when I need it, then this thing won't be stocked. So this is just a simple Gerber knife. It's got a bunch of different tools on it. There, have a pretty cheap foldable saw, but honestly, it'll work just fine. If we need to cut some boughs or something, get walking sticks, build a shelter, whatever. A can and jar opener right here if we're trying to get into some canned food. Not that I have any in this pack, but doesn't take up much space. And then I've got like a manual fire starting kit right here. Nothing fancy. I do have like a whole thing of Bic lighters I'm just going to throw everywhere in this pack, but for whatever reason, the ones that I had in here weren't starting, which is one of the reasons I did this video, is to kind of go through here and replace some of the items that were expiring, because I've had this kit built for a year or two now. In here, I have a wind-up emergency radio. Now, it functions both on solar power right here if we want to charge it that way. It also has a crank, on the back. So, groundbreaking, no, but we can hear emergency broadcasts with this AM, FM settings. It does have the light right here if we need to see something, and obviously we don't need to put in batteries or replace them if they become scarce. So it also does, I believe, have some batteries in it. This was pretty cheap on Amazon, to tell you the truth, but honestly, I think it's something worthwhile in these kits. Last but not least, and one of the reasons I decided to go with a Vertex pack, is self-defense. So all of these packs have like a concealed carry pocket. I'm a proponent of on-body carry, but if we're just grabbing this bag and going, I want to make sure there's some kind of self-defense capabilities here. I also want to have the ability to throw it on my persons right away with this pack. So in this front pocket, I threw my Glock in. It's not what I'm using for concealed carry anymore. It's just a little bit too bulky, but it has a lot of ammunition. It's very, very reliable. And once again, I'm not missing it in my day-to-day life. So I have some of Vertex's organizers here. I don't like their Tactigami holster a whole lot. And I wanted my concealed carry holster, my Tier 1 concealment holster, to be able to be carried in it. So one, I could draw the gun straight from this bag, but what I really intended this to do is just pull this out, throw it on my belt right away, and get it out of the pack, just because I might be separated from this pack. This pack could be stolen, you know, who knows. So I have that here. So it's got the 2 magazines, and then I have an extra one just living right there. And once again, I can just, you know, throw this into my belt. I'm imagining that some people here will, you know, man, you don't have your rifle in here, whatever. Honestly, it just takes up too much space. As much as I'd love to carry, you know, a full arsenal on me, and yes, I understand the rifle's going to be better in some situations, I really need this pack to be realistic, something I'm actually going to carry, and that's just a heavy piece of equipment that's taking up a lot of space that in all actuality I probably will never use. So for me, this is enough right here. I would really like to know your feedback on this kit. Obviously, everybody's going to have some different things. We all prioritize different scenarios depending on where we live, what our family situation is. At the same time, you know, this isn't, you know, the be-all, end-all of kits. I'm not saying these things are the things you have to carry. It's just what I've chosen to keep in here. So if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next week.